So there's lots of things I admire about Dad. I'm always happy to be known as his daughter, and half the time that's how I lead certain conversations, is I'm Rick Reed's daughter. And I'm always very excited about that because Dad is, everybody knows him and he's kind to everybody that ever comes in contact with him. And I like being known as his daughter. I don't know if that's exactly something you admire or not, or how that functions into admire, but I really do. I love that. I love that I'm Rick Reed's daughter, and I say that to people, and I'm very, very proud of that. So that is always something that's amazing for me.
So, something that I admire about Dad is just his selflessness and his love for others. Since I can remember growing up, Dad's always been one to serve other people and to help out. If anybody needs help, he's always first to volunteer. So I can remember a lot of times as a kid watching him go and help other people, and Dad's just always been more concerned about what he can do for other people than he is about himself, and because of that, he makes people feel really loved, and I think that's such a cool trait and something I really admire. Another thing that I really admire about Dad is just his love for our mom. I know there's that conference talk that talks about one of the most important things that a father and a husband can do is to show their children that they love their mom, and I think Dad was really good about that. I can remember lots of times as a kid watching Dad come up behind Mom in the kitchen while she's cooking and hug her and kiss her, and he was always affectionate with her and took her out on dates regularly, and they went and traveled together. And so I think that that was just really neat as a kid to always know that my dad really loved my mom and that they were a solid team. Not that I didn't see them argue, because we all saw Mom and Dad argue from time to time, but I never questioned that they loved each other and that our family wasn't a priority for them. And so that's something else that I really admire about Dad.
So the thing I admire most about Dad is kind of two things, but to me they go together. One would be his work ethic. He's such a hard worker, and even though it sucked when he always made us work and do different things when we didn't want to be doing that, it's something that I've learned growing up that not everybody has, not everybody had to work growing up, and it's actually a really valuable trait that I now have because he had it and he instilled it in us. But then also his love of service, I guess. He never told anyone no. If there was something that someone needed help with, didn't matter what he was doing, he would always stop, help them, make us help them, and yeah, those are the things I admire most about Dad.
Alright, something I admire about Dad. There's a lot of things I feel like I admire about Dad. I love that I've always known Dad cared and that I felt like I could talk to him about anything. I loved giving advice to him because I feel like he's one of the most level-headed people I know. And I've always admired the way he honors his priesthood, because I know that at any time I could ask Dad for a blessing and he would be worthy to give me one and willing. And I just never doubted that Dad loved me, or I've never failed to feel Dad's love. I'm sure there's more I admire about him, but those are the ones that I think of right now.
Okay, so something I admire about Dad, probably how he can connect with people, just talking to people randomly, and how he always knows somebody that they know, and that he can just talk to people without even thinking about it and just being friendly. And how he always puts the church first, and like the good example he is, and the priesthood holder he is, that I know that I can go to him for anything, and that if I need a blessing, that he can give that to me, and that he will be there to help me. And his example of just a good, righteous person, and how he's helped me become strong in the gospel and put the gospel first in my life.
Alright. This is weird, but the thing I admire about Dad is he's taught us how to work hard. I know I'm gonna get some, some like Richard can't work and stuff, but that thing happens.
Alright, so what I admire most about you is that you work hard and provide for a family like I want to do someday.
As far as memories go, unfortunately I have to say most of mine are of moments when me and Dad didn't get along when I did something wrong, so those are usually the ones that stick in my head a little bit more, unfortunately, from like being younger. So I really will never forget when I got picked up from Mutual because I was supposed to come home and I was supposed to be helping a certain someone help with their chemistry that they told me they needed help with, and then they never picked me up, and so Dad came and picked me up late from Mutual, from the church in Logandale, and drove me and Stephanie home, and Stephanie was scared out of her mind, and it was hilarious, and I knew I was in a lot of trouble, but that's one that, I don't know why that's such a big memory. Maybe it's because we drove down the dip really fast there or something, but I am pretty good at making Dad mad, or I was when I was a teenager, so I'm sorry for that, because I know I've got it coming from Miss Natalie and who knows who else in my family, but right now, some of the funnest memories that I have are times with Dad or with my kids. I'm so grateful that he's such a good grandpa, and ever since the first grandbaby, he's been amazing. He's a good grandpa. They love being with Grandpa. They love hanging out with Grandpa, and I'm so grateful that we have that's my dad, who's a good grandpa, even though he's still a dad, that he does take that role very seriously and loves to spend time with the grandkids and enjoy them, and I very much appreciate that.
Some of my favorites as a kid were when he would swim with us. That didn't happen very often, so I'm sure that's why it kind of sticks out, but there were a few times that I can remember him swimming in the pool with us, kind of at Sunset Apartments, and maybe a couple other places where he would play with us in the pool, and I thought that was just the time of my life as a kid. Lots of memories of Dad working on houses together and projects. Building that block wall around our house in Batista was a pretty big feat, and most of the time it was just me and him, and that was something I really treasure and appreciate now growing up, was just working side by side with him, or watching him work and trying to do little tasks to help. Probably my most favorite memory, or one of them anyway, is just my state championship game, my senior year of volleyball. And after the final point and we won the game, him running out of the stands to pick me up on the court and hug me, and it just really meant a lot to me. He was always there to support me. Him and Mom both were, of course, to support me in everything I did, and just to have their love and to know he was proud of me meant a lot, and so that was kind of a sweet memory for me, and one that is my favorite.
So I have two memories of Dad that are my favorite, and no one's here to stop me from telling both of them, so you get both of them. The first one is just riding in the dump truck with Dad wherever he was going, and singing Dolly Parton at the top of my lungs because the radio didn't work. And looking back, I'm really not sure if that radio worked or not. It probably did. I wouldn't put it past him to tell me it didn't, just so I would sing for him. But I loved being there with him and getting to have all of his attention, because it was just me, none of the other kids. And then my second one is Dad would come home from work and he'd sit down in his chair and he'd say, "Sue, come take my boots off." So I'd go over and I'd pull his boots off and I'd pull his socks off, and then I'd pick the lint between his toes, and Mom would be in the kitchen yelling, "Rick, don't make her do that, it's disgusting." And I just loved doing it. I just felt like I was doing so much for Dad because he made such a big deal out of it, even though it was a stupid small thing, but I just loved it.
I think some of my favorite times with Dad are just when we were working together. Like, I can very distinctly remember working on a house. I don't remember one, but just like singing the songs that sound nothing like what the songs actually sound like, but his versions of the song, and being taught his versions of the song and later learning that they sound nothing like the originals. But I remember those a lot, and I even remember like riding in Dad's truck when I was little and like going to some store and singing along with country music. And I don't know, there's been a lot of times when it's just been me and Dad, and I think those are some of my favorite times with him.
My favorite memory I have of Dad, I suck at remembering things, but probably my favorite times have been when he's been at my basketball games or volleyball games. And I remember in high school and middle school, after like in between like the first half of basketball, the halftime, he would come and tell me what I needed to do right and all these things that I could do better, and I loved that he was always there to support me. I also loved just any road trip where I got to sit in the car with Dad and sing country songs and just hang out. But yeah, those are my favorite memories.
My favorite memory is when on April Fool's Day, Dad woke me and Thane up and said there was a coyote in the chicken pen on Logandale, and we went out there and there was no coyote, and he's like, April Fool's, and they made us dig a ditch for like 4 hours that day.
My favorite memory is when we went dirt biking and motorcycling with you, and you tried to go up the mountain and dislocated your shoulder, and it was kind of just funny the whole time.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. This is a great idea by Courtney. I'm very glad you're my daddy, and I'm glad to be part of your family, and grateful that you live close and that I get to be around you a whole lot more than I have in the past few years. So I really enjoy it, and I'm really grateful for you, and I love you very much.
I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day and that I love you so very much. I'm grateful for this day and this chance that we have to celebrate you and all that you've done for us kids as a father. I hope that you enjoy this video and you get to see a little bit, just a teeny bit, how much you mean to each of us and the impact that you've had on our lives. And so thank you for being there whenever I needed someone to talk to, for always giving the best advice, and just for being an amazing dad. I love you so much, and I hope you have the best Father's Day.
I don't know if you can tell, there's tears in my eyes just talking about Dad, because Dad, I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for everything that you've done for me and you'll continue to do for me, and I'm so excited for my kids to have you as a grandpa. And Happy Father's Day. Really wish I could be there. Love you. Can't wait to see you soon.
And I love you, Daddy. Happy Father's Day. Thanks for being the best. I really do think I couldn't have been blessed with a better dad.
I love you, Dad. You're the best dad ever, and I'm grateful for you.
And yeah, I'm thankful for you and all you do for me. Happy Father's Day.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him a drink in the wine. And he always had some mighty fine wine. Sing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky?
child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then.
Gotta hold on easy as I let you go. Gonna tell you how much I love you, though you think you already know. I remember I thought you looked like an angel wrapped in pink, so soft and warm. You've had me wrapped around your finger since the day you were born. Beautiful baby from the outside in, chase your dreams, but always know the road that'll lead you home again. Go on, take on this old world, but to me, you know you'll always be my little girl. Driving through town, just my boy and me, with a Happy Meal in his booster seat, knowing that he couldn't have the toy till his nuggets were gone. A green traffic light turned straight to red. I hit my brakes and mumbled under my breath. His fries went a-flying and his orange drink covered his lap. Well, in my 4-year-old said a 4-letter word. It started with S, and I was concerned. So I said, son, now where'd you learn to talk like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food and grow as tall as you are. We got cowboy boots and camo pants, yeah, we're just alike, hey, ain't we, Dad? I wanna do everything you do. So I've been watching you. There's a light that glows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat. When childhood stars shine, always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit Grandpa every chance that you can. Won't be wasted time, always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. When it's hot, eat a root beer popsicle, shut off the AC and roll the windows down.
let that summer sun shine. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind.